Greetings YouTube, Joe here with Culination Media, and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon XD, Gale of Darkness. This is episode number 94, and in this episode we're going to continue on the path to the right in this volcanic area here and obtain all the items that we can, all the while fighting all of these, I suppose, optional trainers. And there's quite a few of them, and quite a few items as well. Anyway, we're up to Rider Coolig here. Interesting name. Azumarill and Pelipper are his starting Pokemon, so I guess he likes water types. If you have electric type Pokemon, I would suggest bringing them into this battle, as they have a 4 times advantage over Pelipper, and of course the regular standard super effective advantage over Azumarill. As for leveling, these Pokemon are pretty much around the same level as they have been all along. 36 for Pelipper, 34 for Azumarill. So, Vaporeon is going to use Ice Beam since it will inflict neutral damage on Pelipper because of its flying type. Gets a critical hit, however, and that will take Pelipper out in one hit. Vaporeon grows up to level 46, which is nice. And Ariados is going to be the replacement Pokemon, so it's a bug and poison type. It will be weak to Rock Tomb, so that part is good as well. This turn, we're going to do a Rock Tomb on Azumarill, which inflicts neutral damage and also gets the speed lowering there, but considering that Aggron is already faster than Azumarill, we won't need to lower its speed anymore. Goes for a Bubble Beam on Aggron, which is super effective, although it doesn't seem to inflict that much damage, but that's mostly because of the level difference. Alright, so Vaporeon will go for a Bite on Azumarill here, and that leaves Azumarill with about 2 HP left. As per the usual, I get this all the time. Anywho, Rock Tomb with Aggron on Ariados gets a critical hit, but it would have killed it anyway because it's super effective on Ariados' bug type, so no worries there. I seem to be getting a lot of critical hits, though. That kind of scares me, considering that we will be facing Shadow Pokemon coming up at the end of this episode. Hopefully I don't get an unnecessary critical hit that knocks one of them out. I hope. Alright, so Octillery is going to be the replacement Pokemon, yet another water type. This one is a pure water type, much like Azumarill. It has a lot more firepower, however, and doesn't rely so much on its defenses to tank everything, but more so its ability to inflict a lot of special damage, considering that it learns Aurora Beam, Ice Beam, Psy Beam, Bubble Beam, and Octazooka all on its own. This is quite a dangerous Pokemon. It's only at level 36 though, thankfully, and it goes for an Aurora Beam stupidly on Vaporeon. I don't understand why. Psy Beam would have been a better choice, or Octazooka slash Bubble Beam slash Water Gun even on Aggron, but nope. Bite on Octillery takes away about half of its health, and maybe we'll get lucky and get a flinching condition just like we did on Azumarill a couple of turns ago. Qwilfish is another water Pokemon, this time with a part poison type. And it goes for the Pin Missile, which is actually a bug-type move. I thought it was poison a while back, but it actually is a bug-type move. I don't know why I thought that, but oh well. Did it on... I don't know who he used it on. Was it Aggron? Doesn't matter. So yes, Qwilfish a lot of times will have the Poison Point ability, which will poison you on contact with it. So if you use a move like Headbutt, for instance, you have a 30% chance of becoming poisoned. But you're safe if you have a Steel type, so Aggron is all good to go. Octazooka on Aggron, that's what I would have done the first turn. If he did that, Aggron probably would be dead by now. He also gets the lowering and accuracy there, but it's not going to matter because Vaporeon is going to finish off this Octillery right now with a quick attack. We also got lucky that we made him flinch on the first turn that we used Bite on him. So I used Bite, twice in that battle? Once on Azumarill and once on Octillery, and they flinched both times, so can't ask for more than that, I guess. That does it for Coolig. And considering I was at a little bit at a type disadvantage there with Aggron being weak to water types and Vaporeon itself being a water type, I didn't have a lot of options as far as teaching them moves. I did want to teach Aggron a move, however, speaking of, that I should have taught him a while ago, but it's going to be Brick Break. And we're going to get rid of Headbutt to teach him Brick Break because I don't have anybody on my team that knows a fighting type move. I had Cross Chop on Electabuzz, but I got rid of it knowing that I was going to teach Aggron Brick Break, and I just never did it. So I wanted to make sure I did that, because fighting is an important type to have on your team. At least somebody to be able to use the fighting type move, because normal types, there's an abundance of them, and they're only weak to fighting type moves. You can't use anything else. There's no other way around it. So fighting types are essential. Delibird and Grumpig are the starting Pokemon in this battle. So Delibird, of course, is of almost no concern, because Delibird is just absolutely awful. It is ice and flying type, so you can take it out with fire type moves. You can take it out with electric type moves, and it's also 4 times weak to rock type moves. And I believe it also has a weakness to steel type, although that's only a 2 times super effective ratio. Flamethrower knocks it out no problem. It likes to use Present on most turns anyway, so it's really not that big of an issue. Swalot is the replacement Pokemon. It's a pure poison type, and that thing is a tank. It will absorb a lot of hits. Iron Tail with Aggron takes out Grumpig very easily, which is kind of surprising because Grumpig is not usually a Pokemon that will go down in one hit to almost anything. It also has the thick fat ability, so be careful if you're going to use ice and fire type moves on it, as they probably won't do as much damage as you think they should. Relicanth is the replacement for Grumpig. It's a water and rock type Pokemon. We have fought it a couple of times before, most notably against Zook in front of the Cypher Keelair. This thing is supposedly a fossil Pokemon, but you don't have to revive a fossil in order to get it. I do recommend using grass type moves on it, as it will be 4 times super effective, and it is pretty tanky. It will absorb a lot of hits regardless of what you throw at it. It's also weak to electricity and fighting type moves. I used Brick Break with Aggron, and that's only how much damage it did, even despite the level difference. Swalot ends up dying of its burn, so that ended up being really convenient. And because of Swalot dying, Aggron's going to grow up to level 46. Golduck is the replacement. It's a pure water type. Likes to use psychic type moves also, so sometimes it will have either psychic or confusion. I believe it learns confusion on its own, actually. And psychic you can teach to it via TM. Keep that in mind, as we do have a Golduck available to us in this game. Alright, so let's see what I want to do here. 2 water types again. There's been a lot of water types in the inside of this volcano, which doesn't make a lot of sense. I would think there'd be more fire types. Oh well. Flamethrower on Golduck, not very effective, but still takes away almost half of his HP, which can't complain about. And Aggron is going to finish off Golduck with a Brick Break. Down it goes. I'm taking a chance by intentionally leaving this Relicanth on the field here and hoping that it's not going to do too much damage. It does have type advantages on both of my Pokemon that are on the field right now, however. But so did Golduck. I felt like Golduck would be a little bit more dangerous to leave by itself. And I guess that was a good choice, because Relicanth went for a really stupid move, Mud Sport, which decreases the power of electricity walls on the field. I don't even have an electric type Pokemon on the field right now, nor do I have a Pokemon on the field that can learn an electric type move. I don't know. Flamethrower on, Relicanth ended up not knocking it out, left it with about 1 HP, which sucks. But that's what you get for, I guess, trying to attack it with a fire type move, which is resisted by both of its types. Alright, so Quagsire went for a Mud Shot there on Ninetales, which decreased its speed, which actually could cause a little bit of a problem for us, but I'm hoping not. No, it's still the fastest Pokemon on the field. I love you, Ninetales. You are the best. Heat Wave on Quagsire does a good amount of damage and burns him. Fantastic. That's 2 burns in one battle without using Will-O-Wisp. That almost never happens. The second leg of Heat Wave there finally knocks out that Relicanth, and I feel like that thing was on the field forever. And Aggron's Brick Break is going to finish the job and get rid of Quagsire for good. So that's going to be the end of this battle. Again, a very water-centric battle. They like to use the water types over here, so make sure you bring grass and more specifically electric type Pokemon, because although grass types had a 4 times advantage on Quagsire and Relicanth, they were also weak to Swalot's poison type, so either pair it with a Pokemon that can knock out Swalot very quickly, or just go for the electric type Pokemon instead. Alright, so all we get for all that, is an elixir, which I think is a complete and total ripoff, if you ask me. But anyway, now we're going to go the way we actually need to go, which is along the left-hand wall. And the battle that we have over here is going to be with a Cypher Peon that drops from the ceiling, and he will have 2 Shadow Pokemon, so... and I believe he also has some Fire-type Pokemon, too, so to keep that in mind. We'll put Zaprong in there, and I guess we'll stick with Aggron as well. There you are. Wahaha! You thought there was no one this way, didn't you? You're not getting off the hook that easily. Actually, I knew you were there because I told everyone like 30 seconds before you even dropped from the ceiling. Snap, snap. Exactly. Celeste is the name of this Cypher Peon. He's going to start off with Camerupt and Weezing. Weezing is a pure Poison-type Pokemon. It only has weakness to Psychic types because of its Levitate ability, so it's immune to Ground types. And then we have Camerupt here, who is a Fire and Ground-type Pokemon, so it has a 4 times weakness to Water types, so if you have that, make sure to use it. As far as Weezing goes, very similar to when we were fighting Coughings earlier on in the game, you want to try to exploit its more acute weakness towards special attacks rather than try to attack it with physical attacks, because Weezing's physical defense is much higher. Muck, however, who is technically kind of like its counterpart in the Kanto region, is also a pure poison type. Doesn't have the Levitate ability, but is kind of the opposite as far as its defenses go. It's more of a special wall than a physical wall, although regardless, it's still a tank. This thing is crazy tanky, and it will absorb almost anything you throw at it. Psychic is super effective, obviously, and it takes away about 2/3 of its health, but it's not enough to finish it off. Rock Tomb is going to inflict neutral damage on Camerupt, and of course we'll get the lowered speed there, but that doesn't really matter, because Camerupt's pretty slow. Muck is going to go for an unusual move here with Flamethrower. Don't understand why you teach Muck Flamethrower, but that's alright. Camerupt is also going to go for a Flamethrower on Zaprong, and combined, that still doesn't even take away half of his health. Almost, but not quite. In this turn, we should be able to finish off both of the opponent's Pokemon here. We'll first use Zaprong to go for a Psychic on Muck, and that takes it out. I want to get Muck off the field first because I don't want to risk getting hit by like Sludge or Sludge Bomb or something and end up getting poisoned. I hate being poisoned with a passion. It happens to me all the time. The replacement Pokemon for Muck is Rapidash, the pure Fire type. And it is the first Shadow Pokemon of this battle. There's going to be 2. And Rapidash is amazing. If you don't have a 6th Pokemon at this point, if you do have an open slot on your team, whether it be just one open slot or whatever, and you don't have a Fire type, I highly recommend picking up this Rapidash if you haven't picked up the Growlithe from the Cypher Key Lair, that is. Rapidash is just so awesome. Bacargo is the other Shadow Pokemon in this battle, and conversely, Bacargo is awful, so do not put this thing on your team. It sucks. Fire and Rock are the types for it. It is 4 times weak to the Water type and also to Ground, so it has 2 quadruple weaknesses. Kind of like Aggron, but Aggron's actually good, so I don't know. Critical hit with the Shadow Rave there on Electabuzz. Electabuzz is going to end up going down in the next turn, most likely. Get a Brick Break off on Rapidash, and the important part is that we have it paralyzed, so we're good to go. And the Shadow Rave from Bacargo ends up knocking Zaprong out, so it doesn't even make it to the next turn. Oh well. And a critical hit on Aggron. What is it with you guys getting critical hits on the Shadow Raves? Seriously. Okay, so as for Rapidash, I want to explain a little bit more why I think it's such an amazing Pokemon. First of all, its speed. It's very fast. It's one of the fastest Fire-type Pokemon that you will find, so you'll get to attack first a lot of the times. It's about as fast as Ninetales. It may, in fact, even be a little bit faster. You want to make sure that also it has the Flash Fire ability and not the Runaway ability. If you get the Runaway ability here, I suggest that you reset your game and try again if you're going to add it to your team, because Runaway has no effect in Pokemon XD, Gale of Darkness, or Pokemon Coliseum. There are no wild Pokemon, really, so there is no reason to include Runaway as a ability. They should have given it a second effect, like in battles, but they didn't do that, so Runaway effectively just does absolutely nothing. Flashfire, however, does have a good effect, whereas if you get hit with a fire-type move, it will in turn increase your firepower when it comes to using fire-type moves. Also, fire-type attacks don't do any damage to you, so that's just another immunity for you. Rapidash was able to stay in the ball there, so now we just have Macargo to deal with. We have him down in the red, so we should be okay. Didn't get the paralysis condition, but I'm going to bank on him just being able to stay in there. Alright, so the other thing that I wanted to mention about Rapidash is that in this game, it comes with Solar Beam already built into it. I don't know if it has Sunny Day. I want to say that it does. But Solar Beam is enough of a reason to pick it up, because that will defend against all of Rapidash's weaknesses. Rock, ground, and water. They're all weak to grass. So, yeah, Rapidash is amazing. I love it. I will be using it, obviously not in this game, but in any of the games that I can pick up Rapidash in, I'm probably going to be using it. I love it. Alright. It's enough being all fanboyish. That's going to be the end of this episode, guys. In the next episode, we'll continue on into the next room, finally. So stay tuned for episode number 95. Game on.